Hey yo, it's your boy Weezy MTG. We got another drop for y'all today. Now let me tell you, this is an Orzhov deck. So at the end of the day, it's black and white. It's a very common Orzhov thing. So I want to do, a little bit more tall, a little more powerful. So I went with counters. Counters and Orzhov. Yes, that's right. Now, if you don't know, I'm doing a 32 commander deck challenge where I'm doing every single color combination, and I am doing every single one at $10. So I'm trying to make a very budget-friendly 32 commander challenge, and this is it. So if you wanted to see the Orzhov deck, well, then that's where you are here today. So for the commander option today, I decided to choose an MDFC, also known as a motherfucker. So we got our Dean of Radiance and our Dean of Shadow. We got both sides to cast here, but I really like the black side of it, the Dean of Shadow. Embroidery, I don't know, what do you want to call them? So we got Embroidery, right? Our boy, our homie. This is a solid card, I think, because it does something really cool. You put a counter on something and you blow it up. You deal 2 damage to it. It expects you to be putting counters on things and also removing them. This is a weird sacrifice synergy in which you're dealing damage and potentially drawing a card with the last ability. I really like this last ability because whenever a creature you control dies with a counter on it, you draw a card. So I built this at $10 in the budget. Let's see how this deck works. Let's get right to the video, baby. So we got the Deans here. I have no idea what a Deans is because I never made the Deans list. So unfortunately, that sucks. Skill issue. But what I will say is the Dean of Shadow is my favorite part. You can definitely play the first side, the Dean of Radiance. The thing is, I really like the black side. So I try to hard cast this one as much as possible. You can still use the white side. Keep in mind, I think the other side is better. It's more fun. It's really fun. Okay, I had a lot of fun using this side. And I like it because it literally states that you can target any creature. So you can actually blow up other players' creatures if you really wanted to. You don't really have a benefit besides just removing them because, whenever a creature you control dies with a counter on it, then you draw a card. So I like to keep it that way because I like to draw cards. This deck draws a lot of cards. Let's talk about some card draw. I put so much card draw in here and a lot of synergy with counters because yes, the one thing I like to do is synergize as much as possible in a deck. I want things that happen when you do one trigger, you get multiple. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I think that's the most fun way to take advantage of any sort of trigger style deck. And it's on my more complicated side of decks. So this is more of a go tall deck, but you can still go wide with it. There's ways to generate creature tokens. I mean, we have a few cards in here that'll generate tokens. We got Twilight Drovers, stuff like that, where we can remove some counters from our creatures, create tokens. Whenever a non-token creature dies, we create a 1/1. We can utilize that to blow up and then draw some cards. I really like that synergy, so it's good to have in the deck. Now that we have sacrifice outlets in the deck to also trigger our commander, because if we could sacrifice a bunch of creatures on someone's end step or off turn, we could draw a bunch of cards, fill our hand up next turn around, start doing crazy shenanigans, because that's what we do. One thing that's really cool that I decided to put in last minute is actually putting in Death Touch on your commander. Now I have 2 ways of getting Death Touch right now, and you can definitely upgrade this later on. We'll talk about the upgrade section, but putting cards like this that'll give your commander Death Touch just turns it into an automatic sniper. All right, this guy becomes a marksman, can absolutely shoot any creature on the battlefield as long as it's capable of being removed by Death Touch, so that's solid. Plus, if it has lifelink, you actually get the lifelink too. That's pretty good. A few of these cards right here do generate additional benefits for having counters on your creatures, like giving lifelink, or if a creature dies, you get some sort of trigger. Solid way to take advantage of those triggers. Like I said, we want synergy in a deck like this. We want things to happen with our counter creatures because as we get taller, we need to get more benefits. Crystalline Crawler is a great way to ramp. I mean, we're putting counters on our creatures. This is a solid way to get more mana because you can start removing those counters because yes, we have a lot of cards in here that will put counters on all of our creatures. This one, super underrated, I think. It's like a 30-cent card, and this one just generates counters on all your creatures whenever something else gets blown up on another player's board. This can get really nasty really quick. Instants and sorceries are filled with your usual protection, removal, graveyard recurrence. We have those types of cards in here. They're gonna help, get things back from your graveyard to the battlefield so you can do it all over again, man. I mean, come on. You want to sacrifice stuff? We'll do it again. Grave Strength, really cool. Gets a counter on our creatures, actually gets multiple counters, and also is just a cool way to fill our graveyard if you want to do some return shenanigans. I like this card. It's kind of cool. Bastion of Remembrance is a very good card in this deck because, yes, we're sacking a lot of creatures, getting rid of creatures, drain some life, make people feel it. This is a good way to do that, I think. Can't forget about the Ozolith at Home, baby. Yes, that's right. White has access to this card, and it is super duper cheap. This is one of the cheapest Ozolith-like effects ever, and I like that it actually exists here because, yeah, this is a counters deck, so we're constantly destroying our creatures. These counters are going to be constantly moved to whatever permanent you'll want to choose. So choose another creature, and then, you could put it even on the card, and you can move those around if you really wanted to. Beast of the Fallen, one of these cards that I found recently doing my budget builds. I thought this card was solid, and being how cheap it is and the counter synergy it has, this is a great card. I threw it right in the deck, dude. Come on, this is solid. And another underrated card that is also objectively a little harsh to use the ability, but if you need a recurring way to get stuff from your graveyard to the battlefield, Strands of Night is solid, dude. It does get things back. It does remove your land, so this is better late game, but if you have some cool stuff in your graveyard, this is a great way to get it back. So solid card. Strixhaven Stadium is obviously in the deck. This is a Strixhaven commander, so we wanted to make sure that if we have an alternative way to win, it's removing players from the game. This is a counters based deck, so we are swinging out eventually. Make sure that you swing out and you do a lot of damage, and if you can absolutely remove people from the game, absolutely take advantage of that, baby. Let them feel the pain. We got a combo in the deck, and you could probably run this bracket 2 if you really wanted to, but I would encourage bracket 3 for any sort of combos. More likely, you know, ask your pod before you play it, obviously. Make sure that they're okay with a 3 to 4 card combo. And what I mean by that, we have persist combos in the deck because it deals with counters. It's kind of on theme, and I like that. I like to keep combos if they're on theme, right? I'm not gonna put the Exquisite Blood combo in my treasure token deck. That just doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't feel right to me. You get what I'm saying? But nonetheless, let's get to the combo. So we got Persist, Thrawn Vigil, and pretty much any sack outlet in the deck, but we have a sack outlet that does, you know, that can do it as many times as you want, which is my boy Bart over here. So he works really well. You know, you just sack the Persist creature, you know, it comes back with the Persist ability, and then the counter is put on it. You can trigger it to target the Persist creature, and it negates the -1 counter. Rinse and repeat, do it all over again. Pair this with like Bash and Remembrance, then you get the life gain, life drain, and you know, if there's other cards that you have in the deck that put counters on something when they die, which I think I have 1 or 2, I don't remember. You can essentially create a bunch of tokens from this. You can have infinite tokens, you could have infinite life drain. I mean, it works really well with the whole Persist combo. Reanimation bullshittery. But let's get to the land base. Now, I ain't gonna front, I cheat out on the land base again. Like I said, we're in 2 colors. I don't need to worry about lands as much as I will in the 3 colors, but you know, good place to upgrade. So what do I got? 1 tap. That's right, baby. We're gonna keep it straight and simple. This was 6 cents for this card. I only have like 5 cents left before it's over, you know, the $10 and it goes into $11 range. So I literally cannot add anything else, unfortunately. So yeah, if you want to upgrade the lands, go right ahead, you know, go crazy, throw whatever your favorite Orzhov lands are, but it is a $10 deck at the end of the day. You could probably spend another $2 on lands and have a really decent land base, given that most of it might enter tap. Still, that's pretty good. Let's get to the upgrades. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, Cathar's Crusade 100% should go in here if you're planning on it. I mean, this is a great card for the deck. 100%, all those heaters like that. I think Grave Pact would go in this deck really well. It would get very out of hand having it, but Big Mother Mauser would be sick in this deck because it puts counters on the creature. It dies, it creates more creatures for you. That's a really cool way to go wide. Pawn of Ulamog and effects like this would be solid in the deck. Whenever a non-token creature dies, we create something that will be able to give us mana. So that makes things much easier for us to ramp out. Market Back Walker is another one. You know, we get a lot of card draw. This is a creature with counters on it that will eventually pop and give us a card draw for it, as well as card draw from the counters. Another good upgrade would be Animation Module. That is giving us the ability to create more creatures, so take advantage of that. The Shuriken equipment from Final Fantasy is dope. I almost had it in the deck, it just did not make the cut, so I put it here because, well, it's still a really good card. I definitely have more in there. I have actually like almost 50 considerations, so definitely take a look. I'm not gonna go through all the upgrade options today, but it's literally just made for you as like a little toolbox to kind of go through, find what you like and put it in the deck, see what works. And at the end of the day, you know, it's a $10 deck. You're able to kind of figure out the budget you want to build with it with some of these cards. With that said, guys, I could talk about this all day, every day, baby, but Orzhov, one of my favorite colors to play. I decided to build this counter deck. I think there's more I got coming for Orzhov. I honestly want to build another one. So if you're interested in seeing that, you know, stay tuned. But in the meantime, I'm going to go on with my colors. Next week, we're going to do another vote, and we're going to see what next color combination is. Eventually, I'm going to have to make a stack deck. I'm sorry. I just feel like out of the 32 commanders, I feel like at least just one of them has to be like an absolute menace to society. And I want to see if I could actually make a stack deck under $10 that is just absolutely miserable to play with. I think that'd actually be really fun. So potentially for the Azorius Commander, I might do that. If not, I might wait till, you know, Esper or any of the other crazy, you know, or maybe Grixis or something to go balls deep in that. With that said, though, I'm going to wrap it up here. Guys, it was great showing off this deck, so if you're interested in seeing more, you'll throw your boy some engagement, give me a like, comment, a follow, let me know what you thought of the video. If not, dude, I'll see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your evening. Easy out, baby.